Hey, fourth grade. This week we're going to do a project instead of working on our science work. It's going to focus on area, perimeter, and geometry. And we're going to build a tiny house. And I don't want you to think this is just going to be a flat project. We're actually going to build little tiny houses. So I thought I'd make a quick video to kind of show you what we need to get done. So everybody will receive sheets like this, and the first thing I want you to do is to write your name and number on here, because in case yours falls on the floor or something, we want to be able to know whose it is. Okay, and then just to let you know, this is before you begin. It talks about, what is a tiny house, who lives in tiny houses, and why live in a tiny house. We're going to do a paragraph shrinking on this during class, so I won't explain too much about that. We'll go into that later. And the same with this. It's a little bit of background information about building your tiny little house. So we will go and do a close read and paragraph shrinking on this one too. And I wanted to talk to you about your to-do list. Okay, so we're going to turn the page on here. This is the page that's going to be your guide. Let's see if I can get it folded. There, didn't want to lay down. The tiny house to-do list. Okay, because it's a shorter week, I took out some steps. I don't think we'll get it all done to begin with because we only have the few days. So first of all, it goes through directions. Read all of the directions in tiny house parts. This is very important, and refer back to them as much as you need. Second, you got to do a rough draft, and that's included in this group of papers. Create a rough draft of your tiny house. Include all items on the required list. And then third step, you get to create a final version. You're going to have base, walls, and roof, and then you check off each item from the required list. And that's how far I'm going to go in this video. So it says the first thing you want to do, sorry, don't make you seasick, read the directions and then create a rough draft. Well, here are the directions of the house. And we'll go through this also during class. You're going to get some parts of the base, the walls, and then the roof. Okay? So this is the floor plan. This is if you're going to have stuff hanging on your walls. And then, of course, your roof. You got to have a roof or else we'd get wet from all that precipitation, right? So those you're not going to have in this group of papers here. Those are printed on a type of paper called cardstock. And that's just a little bit heavier paper. And let me grab one here. I got one here. It looks like regular paper. That's why it's hard to explain in the video. But if you look, it's a little more stiff than what our regular paper is. So we want to do that to actually build our house walls. Okay? So this is the requirements. There's going to be, your house must have a list of items that you're going to be included, and I'll show you that. Then we'll talk about the area and perimeter, and then you're going to work on geometry to fit all your things in your house. So your house must make sense and fit together. You want to make sure that the layout makes sense. Okay, so here's some examples. This is just an example. You don't have to make one like this. This is just something for you to get an idea, and we'll be looking at some videos and things of tiny houses also. So this is all the parts in the tiny house, and it says that you can put in walls, like of course you might not want your bedroom or your bathroom out where everybody can see it. There's different things with the toilet, the sink, all those things. So the most important thing, we've talked about perspective, and your design will be based on using the bird's eye view. So it's like you're looking down into your tiny house. Okay? So the next page says the rough draft instructions. So this is going to be like a blueprint. And you're just going to draw the base and the side walls of what you're going to have on there. So it can make sure your stuff fits in here. It doesn't have to be drawn to scale like that. I've started one. And this is your blueprints. So this is kind of what mine looks like. I'm not sure if this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some different variations of it. But I just went through and made sure I included all of the different things that were required. So you can hang stuff on your walls. Of course, you're going to have your windows on your walls, and kind of go from there. And we'll talk about it in class. This is just a rough idea. So there'll be more videos later, and can't wait to start building tiny houses.